Good morning and welcome to the meeting of the Berrien County Board of Commissioners for June 9th, 2026. Will Commissioner, staff, and guests please stand for our invocation and pledge allegiance. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this beautiful day in Berrien County. We thank you for the rain to nourish our crops, our flowers, our plants. We ask for your continued guidance and blessing over this board to continue to lead us in a direction that helps us benefit all in our community. In your name we pray. Amen. So more to be. There's the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. For purposes of attendance, Madam Clerk, would you call roll?
Bassett.
Here.
Carlton.
Here.
Campa.
Here.
Getty.
Here.
Spelker.
Here.
Tennyson.
Here.
Hatfield.
Here.
And Jackson.
Here. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Reports for state or county officials. Are there any state or county officials with us this morning who'd like to give an update to the board?
Do I have to push this in? No, it's working. Good morning. Caitlin Hall, Interim Director with Berrien County Central Dispatch. I just wanted to introduce myself for those of you who I have not had the opportunity to meet. Just a little bit about my career at 911. I started in July of 2013 as a dispatcher, and in 2018 I was promoted to shift supervisor. And 5 years ago in 2021, I was promoted to deputy director. So over the last 5 years, I have transitioned off the floor and into administration. And I have had the opportunity to work very closely with our previous director, Stephanie Lehman, and she's kind of shown me the operations and inner workings of the organization as a whole, along with how we partner with the county and kind of coincide with the county. So I'm really looking forward to stepping into this new role, continuing to lead our agency and serve the community, the residents of Berrien County. So if you guys ever need anything, just please feel free to reach out.
Thank you. Just call 911.
Well, they'll have to transfer it to my office, but yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Congratulations. We are gonna change our agenda slightly, so we are gonna do item number 7, approval of the written agenda. At this time, any member of the Board of Commissioners may ask for an item to be removed from the consent agenda and placed under items for consideration. Hearing no such request, does any commissioner wish to change the agenda additionally? And I am gonna change the agenda. We're gonna move our interviews down just below the consent agenda. When I was reviewing our agenda, I was doing it on my phone on a boat floating around in Lake Erie, and didn't do a very good job of reading the placement of this. So we just want to get through the top half of this so we can roll through this. But so, anyways, any additional requests? Does any commissioner wish to change the agenda additionally? Okay. Our agenda is approved as amended. Limited public comment. At this time, any member of the public wishing to address the board may do so for up to 3 minutes for any item listed on our agenda. Hearing no such request. Various correspondence. Does any commissioner have correspondence they'd like to share with the board? Hearing no. Consent agenda. Commissioner Hatfield.
Move approval of the May 26th, 2026 Board of Commissioners meeting minutes.
Support.
Motion by Hatfield, support by Tennyson for approval of the May 26th, 2026 Board of Commissioner meeting minutes. For all items listed on the consent agenda, discussion is not allowed and a roll call vote is required. All those in favor vote aye and opposed vote nay. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Bassett.
Aye.
Carlton.
Aye.
Campa.
Aye.
Getty.
Aye.
Spelker.
Aye.
Tennyson.
Aye.
Hatfield.
Aye.
And Jackson.
Aye. The consent agenda is approved. Now we will go to our interviews. First up, we have Materials Management Planning Committee. We have one position available. And Liz Lentz, come on down.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Awesome. If you'd like to tell us a little bit about yourself and why you see yourself being a good fit for this board, we'd appreciate that.
Thank you for this opportunity. So, my name is Liz Lenz, and I live in Hastings Charter Township and have done so since 1996. Before that, I lived in the city of Hastings. I work for Berry County Community Mental Health Authority, and before Berry County Substance Abuse Services merged with Berry County Community Mental Health Authority, I worked for the county for 19 years. So I have been in my position since 1990 as a substance use prevention specialist. I'm certified as a certified prevention consultant, and I love Berry County. I'm dedicated to this community, and I love working with other people to bring positive impact and change to our community. So the reason that I applied for this position is that since about 2008, I have been working closely with what was formerly the Solid Waste Oversight Committee. And in 2009, one of the things that I also do is coordinate the Substance Abuse Task Force here in Berry County, and have done so since 2004. And we started to notice that the Solid Waste Oversight Committee, now Materials Management, hosted twice a year the Household Hazardous Waste Collection. And during that event, medicines were accepted. We became aware that there was an opportunity to host a medicine collection at the Household Hazardous Waste that would really ramp up what could be collected, including controlled substances. And so beginning in 2009, I went back, and I never get rid of anything. So I have the email files and the file history that scares all IT departments, I'm sad to say. But I did find that in 2009, May of 2009, was the first medicine take-back project. It was a collaborative project with the health department, materials management, obviously, the Substance Abuse Task Force, and many other partners, including law enforcement and a pharmacist and so on. And so one of the things that I do on a daily basis is I bring together people who would normally not sit around a table together, and we all get together and we make things happen that we all care about. And that was certainly the issue with Medicine Take Back Project. So since May of 2009, essentially I've been working to help with the events and coordinate medicine collection, hazardous waste collection. I've been thrilled to see it grow to include tires every time that are free for people, and I've utilized that as well. My husband and I are farmers. We recently bought some land in the last 2 years, and we inherited about 150 tires. Let me tell you, nobody wants them. So I was able to say, hey, I know what we can do, and we've utilized the programs there. Same way, I'm so excited that we now have electronics recycling. All of us want to get rid of televisions and screens and monitors. I believe that people want to do the next right thing. You've heard me say that. If I had to have a slogan over my head, it is, we need to help each other do the next right thing. Whether it's get rid of your TV the right way, get rid of your used motor oil, don't pour your paint, your oil-based paints in the old cistern in the woods. Make sure you're disposing of things properly. That carries over into medicines that people no longer need. For whatever reason, over the years we've seen, I can't even tell you the things that we've seen. And if I had had 1 hour more this morning to prepare, I would have gone total data geek on you, and I would have gotten you the weights from every single household hazardous waste collection that included medications, controlled and non-controlled, aerosols, liquids, solids, and I would have gotten you the Sharps totals. And I can still do that. I can get you that information because we keep data. We know how many cars came through. We know how many cars brought meds. We know it's what gives me joy to see people doing the next right thing. So I would very much like to be a part of this committee. Essentially, I feel like I have for a while, and I would like to formalize that. I believe that there's more that we can do, always more, to help people do the next right thing. I'm going to be quiet and let you ask me some questions because I will keep talking, and I know that maybe you have better questions to ask me.
Mr. Getty, you were on that committee.
Boy, Liz, you said it all. I think she's just a natural fit. Obviously, Liz has
limitless energy that she pours into things that she believes in. And, you know, when we want people to serve on these boards, we want boots on the ground too, and you've proved that. That's, you know, my biggest concern when somebody just wants to apply for a board because they want to come to a meeting. But you do the work behind the scenes, and I know you'll be a good partner to help us plan those events, which is really important.
Thank you. It's not,
Commissioner Hatfield, you're also on that committee?
Well, what can I say after that? I mean, I too have enjoyed working with Liz for an awful lot of years, and she will be a great addition to that committee. So I echo everything that was just said by Commissioner Gaddy.
thank you.
Commissioner Bassett?
Well, I've worked with Les for a very long time, even before I was on this commission, and I like that she would be involved in that next step, right? She's working on you know, one part of our effort, but then this takes it to that next level of getting those things off the street and that kind of thing.
Well, I just would add too that in the last couple of years, we've expanded, we are working on a vaping collection for proper disposal, and you're aware that electronic vaping devices, they're everywhere, they're sold everywhere. There's absolutely very little education about them once they become empty. They not only become e-waste, but they also pose a threat if small children or others were to get a hold of them. They do contain nicotine and in many cases other substances, including cannabis or THC or CBD and so on and so forth. And so I do see growth opportunities. We have for the last few household hazardous wastes actually collected and disposed of vapes properly through our disposal provider, and that gives me, that's a place for growth. We need to get more people to do the next right thing by disposing of those empty vapes or those unused vapes properly. So thank you. Thank you, Marcia.
Okay, so it always interests me to see different challenges change, like with these vapes. That's a new kind of garbage. Do you see other things like that emerging as a source of waste that we have to deal with?
I do, and it's mostly about educating the public that, you know, I may be a substance use disorder professional or a mental health professional, but I can talk to you till I'm blue in the face about how to dispose latex paint if you'd like. And I know that it can be put out on a tarp and dried and put in your regular garbage disposal service. I know all the ways that those who would recommend how we dispose of sharps safely, and I know what the best practices are. And so my job and my team's job is to educate and connect. I can tell you that right now you can go to any shop that sells alcohol or tobacco or other products, or maybe even Kratom or other things, and things are coming out that we never assumed would be hazardous waste. So, for example, Kratom, if it should be disposed of properly, and so if someone's buying a Kratom-infused soda and no longer wants that, do we want that dumped down our sink and to become into our water table? However we do that. That Kratom is going to remain there. There are properties of that probably we don't want in our wastewater or our water treatment or our groundwater or our septic tanks. Same way, if somebody buys a cannabis-infused product, we want to be able to give them the right way to dispose of it safely so that it doesn't end up in the wrong hands, doesn't end up in our water system, or those are things that I can think of. Is it benign? Maybe, but I don't want to find out that it wasn't later on. So we want these opportunities to educate people about, you know, another example is the e-waste of a vape. It's not just that lithium battery. You do have the leftover vaping concentrate, the nicotine and the other substances that are in there that aren't meant to be, we collect them, so sometimes we have to glove up and we have to touch them, and it's not pleasant. It's sticky, we don't know exactly what it is. So we usually, when we're collecting them for disposal, we'll lay down a plastic tablecloth, we'll glove up, and we'll make sure that they're in a secure place because we just don't know. Yeah, thank you. I hope I answered your question.
I just want to say thank you very much for putting in for this. Liz has come up here ever since I've been here, and as far as I know, she hasn't led me astray yet, so, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was going to say, don't tempt me, but that would be really inappropriate, and I want that scratched from the record, because I'm sure I shouldn't say things like that.
Commissioner Campbell.
Well, I lived a large portion of my life as a coach, and coaches like winners, and you're a winner.
You're going to make me,
That's all I got to say.
you're going to make me uncomfortable, but thank you. I humbly accept that. Thank you.
Commissioner Junius.
I think Liz will be an asset on any board. I don't care what. She throws her heart into whatever she does, so she's a doer. She knows how to get things done, so I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I don't have any questions either for you, Liz. We've interviewed you and talked to you a lot over the years, so
Thank you.
you'll be a good fit for that board.
Thank you for considering me.
Absolutely. We will make a decision later on and make that official, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Thanks. We only had one interview for materials management. I think we have 3 people here who wanted to interview for the Mental Health Authority Board position. Leah Lucas? Come on up. Good morning.
Good morning.
You would like to tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and why you would see yourself being a good fit for this board?
Yeah, so I currently am the department head for student support specialists at Hastings area schools. So I'm a social worker. We've got school counselors on our team. I have been here with Hastings Public Schools for 9.5 years. Very passionate about connecting kids and families to resources in our community. Prior to that, I did some outpatient and some in-home therapy. So I just feel very invested in our community and our children and the families that they go home to.
Fantastic. Commissioner Bassett, would you like to start us off with questions?
Yeah, I think you already spoke to this a little bit, so I happen to sit on this board, and I'm very happy to see that you're applying to be on it. Can you tell me some of, like, if you do get on this board, number one, like, what do you think are some of our biggest challenges facing us as a mental health board in this community?
Well, I know some of the challenges that I deal with on a daily basis is just connecting the families to care, and with different bills and such that are going on in the state, funding is always, it's scary, like, to not know from one fiscal year to another whether or not program's going to be funded. So just being able to voice what I'm seeing on the front lines, what the needs are in the community, and then being able to brainstorm ways that we can meet those needs. I would really like to be a part of that. I know every year you have to come up with the budget and everything, and so just being able to know like where that's going and how we can serve our community.
Commissioner Paul?
I'm looking at your resume, very impressive. Thank you for applying.
Yes.
Like you're exactly what we need.
Thank you.
Commissioner Getty?
But yeah, I mean, it's great to see somebody so qualified apply to serve on the board, and I especially like your perspective with youth in the community and feel like that's something, that would really benefit the board. And being in the high school, you're on the front lines, like you're gonna see it first.
Yes.
So, really thankful you're willing to serve.
Thank you.
Commissioner Smelter?
Thank you for applying, and I don't have any questions.
Commissioner Hatfield?
I have a question, and this has nothing to do with your qualifications, but looking at our agenda, I know that on the Mental Health Authority Board, we're required to have certain categories of board members. and the one vacancy that we have is primary consumer. So what does it take to qualify as a primary consumer?
I would think if someone has used mental health services in Berry County previously, that's
I
what
don't think it has to be Berry County, does it? I think when I served on it, it was a primary consumer, you or a family member had been a consumer of mental health services.
And one of the other things that John just pointed out, that we have on the board that there's one position, but I believe there's two. One is a member and one is the primary consumer.
Correct.
So that's the
Two
difference.
Okay,
positions.
Great. Eliminates that question. So, thank you very much for your interest, and, certainly there's a strong connection there. I didn't mean to infer any question about that whatsoever. I just wanted to make sure that we didn't have any restrictions that I wasn't aware of.
Just clarification.
Yeah.
Commissioner Campbell?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Great credentials. You've done a lot. And I find out with people that have showed a lot on paper that they are doers, and we like doers. So thank you for coming in and applying.
Thank you.
Commissioner Tunis?
Yeah, it is a very impressive resume, I'll give you that. I appreciate you applying. What are you seeing some of the kids' major mental issues nowadays? I mean, is it food insecurity? Is it, there's got to be a lot of gamut there, right? A lot of
Yeah, I think there's a lot of
different things.
complicated puzzle pieces. There's a lot of generational trauma. 20 years ago when the parents were going through childhood, it wasn't the norm to seek help and work on their skills and just their mental health in general. So they pass that on to today's children, and I'm seeing parents that they were maybe abused or were in a very hostile home, and so then they go way to the other side where they're almost afraid to parent, and so then you have kids that don't know how to accept boundaries, and so then there's family conflict, which ends up leading to anxiety and depression. We had COVID. We had kids that were home alone for most hours of the day because the parents still had to work. These kids weren't socialized the same as kids prior. We can see it in the school. We can tell who, we call them our COVID babies, the ones that came in kindergarten, and then they missed all of kindergarten pretty much and half of first grade. They missed some of those essential skill building, socializing, and then it turns into just behavior and coping skills that they're just not conducive to a healthy child. And so our COVID babies right now are going into 7th grade. And so I'm hopeful that we're seeing that some of those trends kind of wean out. But it's a pandemic in
So in
itself.
other words, they don't know how to socialize, they don't know how to interact with situations.
Yeah, and so they pick up maladaptive behaviors, substance abuse. I'm seeing kids younger and younger trying substances because they don't know how to cope with life.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. Are you working closely, or does your position with Hastings Area School System connect you with communities in Iowa?
It does. We work very closely with Liz and her team with the Substance Abuse Task Force. They come in and they educate our children about vaping and cigarettes, and they also come in and do suicide prevention. So I would like to see us connect even more with the mental health side of the authority. So that's a wish I have, that we can be more integrated so that we see things on the front line and can suggest, like, this is kind of what we feel is needed.
Yeah, if you can address some of these issues kids or youth that are at risk sooner than later.
Yes, exactly.
Before they hit adulthood, that'd be awesome, so. I don't have any questions. As you've heard, we appreciate your application and your resume. We'll make a decision later on this morning, and we'll be in touch.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next up, Terry Simpson. Okay, I know one had a conflict and couldn't make it in, and I think it was Terry. Julie Kuhn. Morning, Julie.
Good morning. Thank you for seeing me here today.
Absolutely. If you'd like to give us a little bit of background on yourself and why you see yourself being a fit for this board, that would be awesome.
Certainly, thank you. Again, my name is Julie Kuhn. I was born in Berry County. I live in Berry County, and there's a good chance I'll die in Berry County. I'm a former certified pharmacy technician. I was a part of the Drug Take Back program for a couple of years, which was very interesting. I am a business owner here in town, although it's self-employment, and I'm also a former board member for the Oasis of Hope Center in Grand Rapids, which is a free medical clinic, and I served as board president for 2 years, which they serve the west side of Grand Rapids and outlying communities with free medical help, including counseling services. I too am I needed counseling services for a few years due to PTSD and anxiety from a rough childhood and later on in other situations. So I have been a person needing that kind of help. And also through my business, I often see clients who struggle with mental health issues, whether it be from drug addictions or bipolar, because what I provide is a deep relaxation technique, and so they try to find outside sources for their mental health issues because they feel that there's a stigma to having mental health issues, and I will see people that thoroughly believe that they're being possessed by demons, and they're all different ages with different backgrounds. I try to lead them in the direction of a good mental health care person, on top of what they're already getting. But I see the struggles in our community, on a daily basis. And I do feel that many of them don't know that the mental health board exists, honestly. But I'm so glad to be a part of their treatment, doing what I do, but I would like to be a part of the board, not only to give my perspective on both as being a patient and seeing the people in the community, but I would like to listen and see where the board is taking us. I also offer a booth at the Pride Festival for a donation. I do 5 minutes of hand reflexology for people in the Pride community, and every penny that I get from that goes to the GSA Club for the Hastings High School. Many of the people that I do hand reflexology on will oftentimes burst into tears and say, this is the first time somebody's touched me without telling me I'm going to hell, or that I'm diseased, or that I'm broken. And it breaks my heart, but in the Pride community, that is such a struggle. So, any questions?
Commissioner Bassett.
I guess I always return to the question of, on this mental health board, your contribution, what do you think are our biggest issues? And you've kind of answered it already with your presentation, but what do you see as our challenges ahead of us? And do you speak to, have you worked with budgets in any of these positions you've had?
When I was on the Oasis of Hope Board, budget was a big thing because everything was donation. And we tried to find ways in order to bring in more donations, whether it be through church groups, through fundraisers, word of mouth. We had our director go to different churches and speak on the matter, and oftentimes he raised money through that direction. But yeah, it's just a matter of going out and getting the word out of what the committee does, and just so I'm eclectic about the budget.
Okay.
Commissioner Dalton?
Well, you kind of spoke to me when you mentioned people dealing with belief of demonic possession or this or that. I'm a practicing chiropractor, and even though I really work with the spine, you still work with the whole person. And I've had people tell me things like this, and I thought, gosh, life is tough enough without having this really irrational beliefs and worldview. So, that speaks to me. And so how have you dealt with that?
First of all, I just listen. There's always a belief underneath of that belief. Sometimes I'll just say, well, tell me a little bit about your childhood. And oftentimes that I've noticed, and I'm not a practicing counselor, I just listen. We just try to get to the root of the matter. Oftentimes comes from child abuse that I've while listening, that's what came up. But most of the time, if they're listened to and they hear themselves talking, they come to the conclusion that maybe it's not that's the issue, that there's an underlying issue. But most of the time, they just want somebody to listen without judging. We've been really trying to fix,
Commissioner Daly?
I've known Julie for a long time. We both hail from the Middleville area, and she is, what she says she is. She just has a huge heart for people in the community, and whether it's, service at church or service with her business or just meeting people on the street, her and her family have just demonstrated an extreme care for individuals. So thank you for applying and being willing to serve.
Well, thank you. Oh, and I also can mention I'm a certified lay servant through the Middleville United Methodist Church. When the minister steps out of the pulpit, I step in when he's on vacation.
Commissioner Smoker?
I've known Julie quite a while too, so no questions. Thank you. Thank you for applying.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your interest. I particularly like the perspective that you have as a past board member and business owner. I think that it's often very challenging for somebody to step into a board role and not really understand what a board is supposed to do.
I've been on many a board, church boards.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Campbell?
Boy, mental health, that's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, especially when you struggle with yourself.
It is such a tough one. Yeah, we all grew up in the old days where mental health meant up on a hill somewhere in a straitjacket and all that. And we've all found out as life goes on that mental health touches all of us. One way or another, it touches us, and I hope we can continue to understand it as just a sickness that needs to be cured just like any other sickness and not be treated differently. So I really appreciate that you're willing to step up and work on that mission.
Thank you. If we can just get rid of the stigma of mental health, that would be great.
Commissioner Kuniston?
Appreciate you applying.
Thank you.
I found in my life, I guess, that being a good listener is, you don't think that you're helping people, but in a lot of ways you are. When you're listening to them, and you realize that most people got way worse problems than you do. A lot of them, right?
Yeah.
And I encounter. And I think if you take the time to listen to somebody, it goes a long ways. And it sounds like you have that type of character, so
I agree.
I appreciate that.
And I love, when I was on the board, I love listening to all the perspectives of the board members. I was originally invited to be on the Waste as a Hope board because of my perspective. As a dear friend of mine who is the executive director said, they would be a great fit for this board. And I went, really? How? Because they have pharmacists and doctors and nurses and social workers on this board, and they wanted me. And he says, well, you've been poor, right? I went, yes. So I says, that's what qualifies me? I said, standing in a food line that wasn't a buffet line. But I was able to give them perspective of the people they were treating.
Yeah.
And it was very valuable to them. The board only allows you to be on for 6 years. They kept me on for 7. We had the COVID year, you know.
Okay.
And they said, if we wait a year, we would love to have you come back, because I just had that perspective.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I don't have any questions for you. They've answered my questions and talking to you. You've done a great job presenting yourself as well, so I appreciate that. And we'll make a decision on this, and we'll let you know later on.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have Veterans Affairs Committee. We have 1 position available and 2 people for the interview. Evan Wisner.
Good morning.
Good morning. If you'd like to give us a little bit about your background and why you see yourself being a good fit, that'd be awesome.
First off, I'm from Berry County in Hastings. I have lived my entire life in the same house. My home of record when I was in the Army is the home I now live in now. I bought my parents' house when I got out. And so this has always been my home, and you have all been my neighbors, and like that is why I left, and that is why I'm back. And I have always had a heart for veterans. I got into mental health because I had many friends who served post 9/11 and came back and were not doing well and were really struggling. And I'm like, I want to do something about that. So I went to Spring Arbor University and I got my undergraduate degree in psychology. And I had this confliction of I don't know how can I help these individuals if I don't know what they're going through, if I don't know how they served. So with my infinite wisdom, I believed that I could join the military, get through completely unscathed, and come home and be like, yes, look, I can help you now. And that is not exactly how it went. I got very scathed, as it were, and had my own struggles and had my own difficulties. It's interesting listening to members from Berry County Mental Health and other organizations and agencies here that have helped me and have helped me through my own difficulties and my own journey. I am a 100% disabled veteran. I know, right? I don't look it, but sure am. There's a lot of things going on, and I have a lot of friends who are the same way. And I came back, and I was like, I need to do more. And I worked for the Health and Human Services for the state of Michigan. I worked in CPS as an investigator while I was going to grad school to get my master's in social work. And then for a short period of time, I worked at Lara as a licensing and regulatory, analyst. And when I finished that, I decided, hey, what am I going to do? Like I got my degree in social work. Where can I help? And there was a lot of different areas, and strange as it may sound, I went right into private practice. And I chose that because it allowed me to find the clients that I am best suited to serve. And generally speaking, the clients that I am best suited to serve are veterans, because we are an incredibly difficult population to serve. And having that co-experience has helped me immensely, of just being able to understand of like what it is like, even on a small level. And I love this place, and I'm very fortunate of how I grew up. The block that I live on has 11 American Legion members on it. That's just strange. Statistically, that's very unlikely, but those were my neighbors, were veterans. All of my neighbors were veterans, and growing up, and my father was a veteran, and my grandfathers were veterans. And I am here because I was asked by other veterans to be here. I was told that there was a need and that they were having issues like filling the slot, and that there was difficulty finding the right people and navigating some of the legal complexities of how the board functions, etc. And Carla Neal, I served with on the Legion, and so Charlie Alexander as well. And I was specifically asked to come and apply because I asked Summer how I could help by Summer Robertson, who works at the Berry County Mental Health. And so I'm here because if I'm the best person to provide this service and to support veterans in this way, I want to. And if I am not, I trust in your wisdom and judgment, and that the right person will be available, and I want to do whatever I can. Thank you.
Thank you. We happen to have several veterans on our board, so I'm going to let our post commander, Commissioner Campbell, start us off.
Well, Evan, I think you hit on a very important subject there when you're discussing inward problems and stuff, that veterans that have served face a major problem, and it's not physical. It's inside, it's not outside. And it is a lifetime problem. It's a lifetime challenge, and I'm sure you understand exactly what I'm talking about. So I appreciate it that you're willing to step in and help other people, veterans that have those issues that we all deal with, and we will till the day we die. So thank you for showing up.
Thank you. That's my family.
Commissioner Hatfield.
I really can't say it any better than what Commissioner Campbell just did, so appreciate your interest, and you certainly bring a great background to this opportunity.
Thank you.
Commissioner Smelker.
Thank you very much for applying. I appreciate it. I kind of know what you mean. I have lived in the same house, except for when my friends and neighbors enlisted me. That's what the letter said. So, thank you again. I appreciate you.
Commissioner Dalton.
Go Army.
Go Army.
Yep. And where did you do training at?
Fort Jackson. Relaxing Jackson is what they say, but I was a soft skill MOS. I was a 35 Fox and intelligence analyst, so we all went through there.
Yeah, I was Fort Jackson too.
Okay.
Good to see you. Well, thanks for applying. It sounds like you have all the experience and that we need for this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Bassett.
Thank you so much for applying. I'm impressed with what you have for both boards that you applied for. And I see for myself, I see maybe pulling in one direction or the other, but if you had to choose between the two boards, which one would you pick and why?
Well, I chose, actually spoke with Mr. Jackson beforehand and withdrew my consideration for the Mental Health Authority. One, because I got to meet some of the other people who were applying, and I had looked up who they were, and honestly, they're probably far more qualified to be on that board than I. And my heart is with veterans. And part of the reason that I even applied for the Mental Health Authority Board was because I understand how important programming and funding and resources are to getting veterans what they need. So if I can't be on the Veterans Affairs Board, well, I also qualify for this one, and there's something I could do there to help. So if it's up to me, I suppose I want to be wherever I'm going to do the most good.
Commissioner Getty.
What a great attitude. So just thanks for applying.
Thank you.
Commissioner Tudison.
Sounds like you got a great passion for helping veterans, so I think that seems to be your calling.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Evan, I don't have any questions for you either. Have you worked with our Veterans Affairs locally here or community mental health, if you want?
I would say in passing, or in probably more of a volunteer, or in like volunteer settings, not directly. The current new director down there, Andrew Courtwright, is a good friend of mine, and so I'm excited to be able to do more work with him. And I have had multiple involvement, and I feel like another good friend of mine, Chris Casper, he had previously worked there at Berry County Mental Health, and we're trying to do what we can within the Legion and to work and create interagency sort of like cooperation, but I suppose I'm looking forward to it, but haven't done as much as I'd like.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate your application. You certainly have a very good skill set for that position, so thank you.
Thank you.
We'll make a decision, and we'll let you know a little later on.
And to all my fellow veterans, thank you for your service. Stand on the shoulders of giants. Thank you.
Thank you. The next interview is Roberto Beltran. Good morning, how are you?
Good morning, doing good, thank you.
Good, if you would like to give us a little bit about your background and why you see yourself being a good fit for this board, we'd love to hear from you.
Of course. So, growing up, I grew up in California, so we moved out here when I was 12 years old. I remember my first birthday in Michigan as 13. We moved from California to Michigan for our church that we now attend and continue to attend. The pastor we knew at that church my grandparents supported them, they knew them from the time they were young. We grew up with them as, we considered them family. We moved out, we moved next to the church. My grandpa was in the Marine Corps, he was a veteran. I joined the Marine Corps when I was 17. I signed the paperwork on my 17th birthday. My grandparents came home because their anniversary was on the 5th. I actually signed it November 5th. My birthday is November 10th. So I was 16, and they just waited to date it until I actually turned 17. I always loved talking to my grandpa and just hearing his stories and just being a part of that. I've always loved veterans. I've always loved being a part of something bigger and better, something always that people stood behind. And so I joined the Marine Corps. I unfortunately was not able to do the 20 years as my original plan was. I got out in 2014, medically separated, 100% disabled veteran in 2014. God just had other plans. Just that's plain and simple, no easy way to put it. I had my plan and he had his plan. We moved back from North Carolina, where I was stationed. I got married in 2013. We then moved into, bought the property next door to my parents' house and that they've lived at since we moved here when I was 13. And we built our house here. We now have 3 kids. I'm a family man. I'm 32 years old. I'm young. But I love to help people is my main thing. That's what I love to do. I stay at home now because my wife works she's the executive director for Otsego Plainwell Chamber of Commerce. She just took that position because she's had a business, so as long as I've known her, she's always starting businesses and she's working with clothing and things like that, and she just felt like she was the right fit. So to let her take that passion over, I've stayed home with my son. He's 2. He's the youngest son I have. When he gets into school, then I'll explore further options. But I have a small clientele, and my slogan I always tell them is I'm always happy to help. We were talking with my friends the other day, and I was just telling them what's a big misconception that you have for yourself that people would think. And I always say I'm just always willing to help. People don't understand that if I'm asking you to help, I just genuinely want to help. I don't want anything in return. I just want to be there to help. Whether that's listening, whether that's being out there doing what you're doing. I'm not afraid to do what you're doing, if that makes sense. I've always known as a leader is the person that's going to do what I'm asking you to do. If I'm not willing to do it, I'm not going to ask you to do it. So growing up, I've always had that passion. I've always loved veterans. I try to help the veterans that I know personally, whether it's trying to get their disability, whether it's just trying to help them mentally or through our church. That's just my goal, is just to love and help other people. Whether it's a veteran, whether it's outside the veteran group, whoever you are, it's my goal is to help others. So.
Commissioner Campbell.
Semper Fi, Roberto.
Semper Fi.
It's nice to have a Marine in the room with me. All kidding aside, anybody that signed that line, no matter what branch you're in, deserves something very special.
Yes, they do.
And it takes something very special to sign that line. I appreciate that you're here, and however long you made it is not the important part. The important part is you signed the line. So I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
Commissioner Hatfield.
Well, this is another one of those difficult examples of having multiple highly qualified candidates that are passionate about the work that we're going to ask them to do. And irrespective of what decision we make on this position, I hope that both of you will continue to seek opportunities to be of service to your community, whether that's the county, the city, whatever. It's great to see passion, and you clearly have it. So
thank you.
Thank you for applying.
Commissioner Schmelker.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Even though you were a Marine.
3 Army, 1 Marine, it's about the right ratio. Right.
I'm not talking to you.
I really appreciate you applying, and just thank you, no question.
Commissioner Calton.
Thank you for your service and applying, and I want to echo what Dave said, that definitely keep up looking at these opportunities in the community, because there's plenty. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Bassett?
Well, I think they've said it all. Thank you for your service. Thanks for applying. I think we have a very difficult decision ahead of ourselves because we have 2 highly qualified, passionate people for this board. And that's a great problem to have in some respects because we love to have our boards have people who bring a lot to the table. I don't really have any questions.
Okay. Commissioner Gibb?
Thanks for applying and, echoing that there are so many opportunities, regardless of, where we make the appointment for all our candidates, especially younger veterans, and, to take some of the work off our, more senior veterans. And that's what I hear a lot in the community is, we just need some young folks to come in and start to shoulder some of that work. So no offense to age there, Bruce, but
Thank you,
but it is, and I think you've said it before, is that we need some folks to come in and overcome some of the stigma that comes with service and with what's resulted from that. So thank you.
Yeah, I agree with that 100% because that's what I teach my kids now. In our church, you look at our church and we are the next generation to take over those positions. I teach my kids that they have to follow and lead from my example to be able to take those positions when they get that chance. Because if they're not following and I'm not instructing them correctly and they're not watching my leadership and taking those steps with me, they're not going to make it to that position. So I 100% agree because we do need more people that are willing to just take that next step and be the next, not necessarily leader, because everyone doesn't have to be a leader, but being able to help and just being a part is helpful enough. So thank you.
So encouraging.
Commissioner Tucson?
I think you said it best when you said you weren't going to never ask somebody to do something you weren't willing to do yourself. So you could tell you're the type of guy who'll lead the charge up the hill, okay? And that's what good leaders are in life, regardless what you do, okay? And you can tell you're that type of person. So I really appreciate your service and also applying for this. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't have any questions for you, Brew. I think they've answered them all, and you presented yourself very well, told your story, so I appreciate your application and coming in this morning.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
One more interview, Zoning Board of Appeals, is Kyle Herb here?
Yes. I guess I didn't really know there was a official interview process. I don't really have a speech prepared.
You don't need one.
All right.
So, tell us a little bit about your background and
Okay.
why you see yourself being a fit for this board.
Okay. 32 years old. I just moved to Berry County 5 years ago, and I had 2 daughters. I plan on staying here for a while, so I figured I might as well get involved somehow. My background's real estate and construction, so kind of my niche. It's kind of where I slot in, I think. Yeah, and I got to agree with what Roberto had to say as well, that you have to get involved and you got to have the next generation involved somehow to, I guess, carry the torch, make sure things don't go wild. So that's it. That's all I got.
Okay. Commissioner Bassett?
Yeah, just curious, I guess, other than some of the things you mentioned here, why this committee, why now for you personally?
It was available. Like, I don't have an impassioned plea. I think I'm a good fit for the job. So. Yeah.
Mr. Calton?
I think it's your background in real estate, kind of definitely connects to zoning. Have you had any thoughts on zoning in terms of real estate growth opportunities, things that need to change?
As of right now, I think Berry County is kind of the next one. So like, if I had to go between, so there's Muskegon and there's Berry County and Hastings specifically that are kind of the next ones to grow. Like Grand Rapids is kind of the hub and all the satellite cities are the ones that are popping. So if there's a place to get involved where I think there's growth, it's Hastings. And as far as what we can do, I mean, Jeff's already working on it. Like you're working on reducing setbacks and creating actual streets where people can walk. I think it's already happening.
Thank you.
Commissioner Ginn?
Sometimes the ZBA is the most difficult board to serve on.
Okay.
Because you have very specific criteria, and it's, sometimes a misconception that, well, that'll be fine, none of the neighbors are complaining, and we can approve the variance.
Yeah.
But it does take a lot of study of the criteria.
Okay.
And there's lots of resources available to you. So just wondering if you're willing to take advantage of those classes. They're both online and in person, if you have time to
Absolutely.
To pursue those. So that's, in my view, is the best ZBA member is somebody that has sometimes the most knowledge of the ordinance and the statutes that guide your decisions.
Yeah, of course. For real estate, a lot of times when people buy houses, they go, can I put a pole barn up, or can I add a garage? Do I have the room to do an addition? So I spend a lot of time in the ordinances as is.
Good. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you very much for applying, and I especially like that you want to keep the current ideals of Berry County. Thank you.
Of course.
Commissioner Hatfield?
I would just echo what Commissioner Getty said. I'm a member of 3 different planning commissions, and ZBA is a very difficult assignment because common sense is not always what is possible. And it takes somebody, as Catherine said, that's willing to dig into it, understand the underlying rationale behind the ordinances. And sometimes you're not always able to do what you really would like to be able to do. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Understood.
Commissioner Campbell?
Morning, Kyle.
Morning.
Gosh, I think you'd be a good fit here. You got the real estate behind you, you've had some experience in that. And most of all, you're willing to come up and step up and help the county, and that's what it's all about.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Tucson?
Sounds like Kyle's got the background as far as real estate. I mean, that's a big deal, because especially when you're dealing with lakes, right?
Yeah.
300 of them in the county.
Right, yeah, and how everything's on an angle, and all of a sudden, this is over the line and everything else, so that, sounds like you got your work cut out for you, but it sounds like you'd be a good fit too, so, thank you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate your application. This is a board that we need some young, sharp minds on with that construction and real estate background. That's helpful as you're involved in the community, you know a little bit about that stuff. It does require some study because it's not about the emotional side of it. Well, why can't we put a pole barn here, whatever it is. It's about what the zoning ordinance is and what the complexities are that we want to maintain in Berry County.
Yeah.
Some of our rural appeal, and there's a lot to it. They're finishing up a new master plan right now and putting some touches on it. So there's a lot to it, but I think you'd be a good fit for the LQ background. So.
Excellent. Thank you.
So, any other questions? Okay. We will make a decision shortly and let you know.
Sounds good. Thank you.
It's 10 o'clock. The board's going to be at recess for about 5 to 7 minutes. I want to get a little clarification on one of the questions we had from Commissioner Hatfield. If you were here for an interview, you're not required to stay for the rest of the meeting. They'll typically notify you by mail of the decision here today or tomorrow.
what you want. I know exactly what they're saying.
Presentations, we have none. Public hearings, we have none. Items for consideration. The chair will entertain a motion for approval of prepaid invoices in the amount of $4,375,845.14.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Calton, support by Getty for approval of prepaid invoices in the amount of $4,375,845.14. Is there discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Halton.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Getty.
Aye.
Smelker.
Aye.
Tennyson.
Aye.
Bassett.
Aye.
Hatfield.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye. The motion is approved. Item B, the chair will entertain a motion for approval of claims in the amount of $113,275.04.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Smelker, support by Campbell for approval of claims in the amount of $113,275.04. Discussion. Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Campbell.
Aye.
Getty.
Aye.
Smelker.
Aye.
Tennyson.
Aye.
Bassett.
Aye.
Halton.
Aye.
Hatfield.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye. The motion is approved. Item C, the chair will entertain a motion for approval of commissioners' reimbursement mileage in the amount of $343.66.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Tunison, support by Bassett for approval of commissioner reimbursement mileage in the amount of $343.66. Is there discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Getty.
Aye.
Smelker.
Aye.
Tennyson.
Aye.
Bassett.
Aye.
Halton.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Hatfield.
Aye.
And Jackson.
Aye. The motion is approved. For our assignments for our interviews this morning, if you look at your Materials Management Planning Committee, we have one interview from Liz Lenz. Any discussion or comments? I think Liz is a good fit for that board.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Chair would entertain a motion for approval to appoint Liz Lenz to serve on the Materials Management Planning Committee for a partial term that expires on November 30th, 2029.
So moved. Support.
Motion by Bassett, support by Getty for approval to appoint Liz Lenz to serve on the Materials Management Planning Committee for a partial term that expires on November 30th, 2029. Any further discussion or comments? Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Smelker.
Aye.
Tennyson.
Aye.
Bassett.
Aye.
Halton.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Getty.
Aye.
Hatfield.
Aye.
And Jackson.
Aye. The motion is approved. Next, our Mental Health Authority Board. We had 4 potential interviewees. Like I said, Terry couldn't make it, and she did say that she would apply again at the next round. So you really have 2 candidates for that. Let me find my list again. So that would be
Leah Lucas?
yeah, Leah Lucas as the member, and Julie Kuhn as the primary consumer. Any discussion or comments on those candidates?
I think they're a great fit.
Both of them are great.
A lot of experience, a lot of connection. I think they will fit in with what we're looking for that board. Chair will entertain a motion for approval to appoint Leah Lucas as the member and Julie Kuhn as the primary consumer to serve on the Berry County Community Health Authority Board for a partial term that expires on March 31st, 2027.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Tunison, support by Bassett. Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Bassett.
Aye.
Halton.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Getty.
Aye.
Smelker.
Aye.
Tennyson.
Aye.
Hatfield.
Aye.
And Jackson.
Aye. The motion is approved. And we'll get the exact dates because I am not positive on those terms, and if we have to adjust those motions, we will. But
There was a thing in our packet that had those dates.
yeah. Veterans Affairs Committee, 2 great candidates. So,
I'd like to make a motion for Evan Wisner.
Support. And I do think that both candidates were great, and I hope Roberto will keep his name involved.
I agree. Any further discussion or input? The The chair would entertain a motion for approval to appoint Evan Wisner to serve on the Berry County Veterans Affairs Committee for a partial term that expires on December 31st, 2029. Did you?
So moved.
So moved.
All right, the motion was by Tunison and support was by Smelker. Okay, sorry about that. All right, motion by Tunison, support by Smelker for approval to appoint Evan Wisner to serve on the Berry County Veterans Affairs Committee for a partial term that expires on December 31st, 2029. Any additional discussion? Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Halpern.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Getty.
Aye.
Smelker.
Aye.
Tennyson.
Aye.
Bassett.
Aye.
Hatfield.
Aye.
And Jackson.
Aye. The motion is approved. Congratulations, Evan. Next up, Zoning Board of Appeals. We have one interviewer, Kyle Hurt. Any discussion or input on Kyle?
I would move that we appoint Evan Hurt to serve on the Zoning Board of Appeals for a partial term that expires on March 31st, 2027.
Who would like to make that support? Smelker? Okay. Motion by Hatfield, support by Smelker for approval to appoint Kyle Hurt to serve on the Zoning Board of Appeals for a partial term that expires on March 31st, 2027. Any additional discussion? Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Campbell.
Aye.
Getty.
Aye.
Smelker.
Aye.
Tennyson.
Aye.
Bassett.
Aye.
Felton.
Aye.
Hatfield.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye. The motion is approved. Next on our agenda, approval for renewal of our liability vehicle physical damage property crime insurance coverage through the Michigan Municipal Risk Management Authority for the period of July 1st, 2026 to July 1st, 2027. Commissioners, this is MMRA is our insurance. MMRMA is our insurance provider and has been for several years. It's our group policy through several other municipalities and counties like that. Eric is not here today, but it looks like the bump in insurance is about what it has been. You can see the history for 2026 and 2027. This is something that we've done every year as long as I've been a commissioner. The other thing about this is that I don't see this noted on here as far as what our refunds have been. Even though our premium is $533,000, at times we've gotten several $100,000 back in the form of refunds and rebates based on, was it in there? Yeah. Okay, so what was it last year? $210,265 came back off of that premium, so, you know.
Knocked it down quite a lot.
It's like overpaying on your taxes and
Yeah.
getting a nice refund, I guess, I don't know, but. So, yeah, when you're getting $210,000 off that makes it a little more reasonable, but, I don't have any questions on this only because I've seen it for 12 consecutive years. I don't know if any of you have any questions. I'm not sure Tammy has all the information other than what she studied on this recently. Like I said, this is something we do every year on our municipal risk, so.
Mr. Chairman, the refund, is that due to amount of claims put in and stuff, is that?
In the whole group, and then you get a percentage.
Particularly, yeah.
The more Marines we have on our board, the better, the more money we get back, so.
No.
Works out that way, so.
I'm not sure if he's speaking on it. I don't know where to thank you.
There you go, there you go.
Meeting.
Yeah, I was meeting after the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
It changes every year, and I think it's based on the number of claims that are paid out or filed on behalf of all the members together. So if they have a low claim year, our refunds are higher, there's a lot of claims, it'd be different, so.
Yeah, it's a risk pool.
Yeah, risk pool, so.
Is that something we make the employees knowledgeable about, that they have saved a section of money by not making claims?
Driving safe would not make any claims. Well, your health insurance is different, so.
That's a different deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
This primarily covers all the assets of the county.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, there are no further questions. The chair will entertain a motion for approval to renewal of the liability vehicle physical damage property crime and insurance coverage through the Mid-Michigan Municipal Risk Management Authority for a period of July 1st, 2026 through July 1st, 2027 in the amount of $533,957 and authorize a member representative to sign the agreement.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Smelker, support by Bassett. Any additional discussion or questions? Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Getty?
Aye.
Smelter?
Aye.
Jimison?
Aye.
Bassett?
Aye.
Felton?
Aye.
Campbell?
Aye.
Hatfield?
Aye.
Jackson?
Aye. The motion is approved. Lastly on our agenda, we have adoption of resolution 26-15, naming trustee and alternate trustee to serve on the Board of Trustees for the West Michigan Health Insurance Pool, WMHIP. With Luella's retirement, basically this is just naming Tammy Price as our other alternative with Eric. So those are our two representatives for our Western Michigan Health Insurance Pool. So just a simple clerical clear up here for this opportunity.
Wasn't Stephanie on the board? I think she's gone. Board, I'm thinking.
Good question. It's just, this specifically mentions the delegate and an alternate, which was always Eric and Luella
Okay.
at this point. Stephanie may have been on that board as well, so hopefully she was, but.
Stephanie
Additional
was
questions?
on the board, but this is just for the internal,
The internal committee then?
yes. Well,
Okay.
to be able to access them and the information and the website, all of that.
Very good.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion for adoption of resolution 26-15, naming trustee and alternate trustee to serve on the Board of Trustees for the West Michigan Health Insurance Pool.
So moved. Support.
Motion by Getty, support by Bassett. Additional discussion or questions?
We probably ought to insert the names.
Well, alternate, the trustee being Eric
And the alternate being Tammy.
Zuzka, and alternate being Tammy Price. Noted. So just to be clear, the motion is adoption of resolution 26-15, naming Eric Zuzka and alternate Tammy Price to serve on the Board of Trustees for the West Michigan Health Insurance Pool. Everybody okay with that? All right. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Smelter?
Aye.
Jimison?
Aye.
Bassett?
Aye.
Felton?
Aye.
Campbell?
Aye.
Getty?
Aye.
Hatfield?
Aye.
Jackson?
Aye. The motion is approved. Unfinished business, we have none. New business, we have none. County Administrator's Report, unless you'd like to step in on behalf, if you have anything you'd like to add.
Don't, we're just actively working on the budget packet and also wrapping up the audit information, so.
Perfect. Thank you. Chairperson's Report, I am all set. Vice Chairperson's Report.
Attended the city council meeting last night. They did approve the multiple resolutions that were necessary to put the 425 agreement in place for Myers. So one more step taken. The township will consider those same resolutions at their meeting tomorrow night.
And pending the approval from Rutland Township, then on Wednesday night, we will have Myers at some point in the future.
Well,
potentially JPC has to
close.
Close.
Once those resolutions are in place, then that transfers the planning authority to the Joint Planning Commission. So, and the Joint Planning Commission, in anticipation of these resolutions being approved, did a preliminary site review at their last meeting, with these resolutions being, assuming that they're passed by both the township as well as the city. Then authority transfers to the Joint Planning Commission. So at their next meeting, they'll be considering the site plan review, as well as a couple of other companion ordinances. And if those are then approved, then it goes back to the township board for final placement.
It's a long process.
It's a long process.
Okay, yes. Thank you. Commissioner Campbell.
I attended the DHS in Thornapple Manor, and they both are doing very well. Thornapple continues to get lots of accolades from patients. I hear it lots of places where I go, so I'm very proud of our Thornapple manner in how they're doing.
Commissioner Tunis?
Attended Carlton last night, long meeting, again, a lot of the residents coming before the board, you know, their concerns on Vetter Road with big manure hauler tanker trucks that are hauling 88,000 pounds of manure, doing 60, 65 miles an hour. John and I went to try on their behalf, we went to the road commission, talked to Jake. Jake's got a great relationship with the farmer. So he went to the farmer, before he was doing 2 treatments on the road as far as dust control, the guy agreed to 4. The township does 1, that's 5. But they are in a situation where the speed is more the problem than anything else. And I don't know how we or the county or the township board or anybody can do anything for them to control this speed, because if you can imagine on a gravel road, having 150 trucks a day with 80, you know, it's like 8 million gallons of manure a day, okay, that they're hauling, and it's just destroying the road. Not only that, but it's more the houses that live close to the road. Basically, their windows are rattling, the whole house is rattling, because you know, that's a lot of chatter bumps that they're creating, there's a lot of things there. And don't get me wrong, I'm the biggest advocate there is for farming, but 80,000 pound vehicles were never intended on dirt roads to go 65 miles an hour. Okay, it's some safety issues, and John will tell you the same thing. It's eventually somebody's going to be pulling out of their driveway, or something's going to happen there. Something's going to happen. It might not be 6 months from now, but eventually, somebody on a side-by-side, or somebody on a horse, or somebody on walking, or somebody pulling out of their driveway. And I think something's eventually going to happen, but I don't know what we can do for them. If somebody's got an answer, let me know. So, other than that.
Commissioner Schmelker?
I agree with Bob on this. I feel bad for the residents. I just can't come up with any good solutions. I also attended the judicial and security meeting Friday. Went to Freeport last night, and Thornapple is next week Monday.
I have a meeting tonight in Village of Meadville. They're working with a consultant to determine their criteria for brownfield TIF monies. So I know the city of Hastings went through the same process to help guide decisions for projects that would apply. So they're going through that process tonight, and I think the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority is also going through that process. Am I correct? So I'll see what I learn tonight.
Commissioner Carlton?
I was at Carlton Township too last night, and those residents are certainly frustrated going to different, they don't know who can help them, even so. Also was at the Village of Woodland last night. I got Woodland Township tonight and the Village of Nashville Thursday.
Thank you. Commissioner Bassett?
So I had the opportunity to attend the Small Town Rural Development Conference last week and met up with another commissioner there. She came for the day, and it was a tremendous experience for me, really. They had one of the sessions was on TIFs, and I went to get educated, and I got educated. And I think a lot of the information that I got during that session is going to be really helpful to our Brownfield board and how we define the TIFs and the decisions that we're going to be making. So that experience was tremendous for bringing me up to speed on that. And just on top of that, to be with a lot of small rural towns, rural communities, seeing what they're doing, how they're growing, how they're developing, Learned a lot about MSU Extension and maybe some opportunities with them that we could do either countywide or maybe our small communities, because they have a lot of resources to help. They've done some tremendous things throughout the state. And then, we're networking with all of the people there from small communities in Michigan. So it was a great experience. I'll be attending the Berry Township meeting tonight because they need to talk about the roads in the new Stepping Stones development and how that's going to be handled for our MSHDA grant. Later this week, I have Berry County Mental Health. We have Yankee Springs. The Region 3 BCOA is coming up, and I can attend the next one. So I know you and I talked about that, but I can attend that next one. I think it's the one I can attend in the year. So looking forward to that. And then I have Gun Lake Improvement Board in Prairieville coming up next week.
Izzy.
Izzy.
Thank you, Commissioners. Limited public comment. At this time, any member of the public wishing to address the board may do so for up to 3 minutes for anything on your minds. Thank you.
Chair Jackson, Berry County Commissioners, county staff, and neighbors, thank you for the opportunity to add a public comment. Most of you know me, but I want to take a moment to reintroduce myself in a new capacity. My name is Brandon Strong, and I reside in Hastings Charter Township, and I'm running to serve as the next state representative for Michigan's 78th District. My wife Samantha and I have been married for nearly 21 years, and we have five children together. Before I say anything more about myself, I want to thank this board for the tremendous work that you've done on behalf of Berry County. The many accomplishments of this board over the past several years have not happened by accident, and I appreciate the time, effort, and seriousness that each of you bring to that responsibility. Specifically, I want to add that I know Tammy Price, and she was an excellent choice as the Deputy County Administrator. She has always served the county well. My family moved to Hastings more than 12 years ago when I became the Executive Director at Berry County Christian Schools. At that time, the school was on life support, and by God's grace and through the work of many people, we have made tremendous growth. Today, BCCS includes multiple campuses and serves families from across this region. About 5 years ago, we identified that Berry County was at risk of being without a local driving school. Through our foundation, we opened Greenlight Driving Academy, helping keep that service available for families throughout our county. I am proud that we have been able to do those things while maintaining a respectful relationship with Hastings area schools, the BISD, St. Rose, and other community partners. I believe strong communities are built when local institutions work together, when families have options, and we respect the different roles each organization plays in serving people. In 2016, I felt the responsibility to become more actively involved in Berry County, so I joined the Berry County Chamber of Commerce Board. Several years later, I had the privilege of serving as board chairman and serving alongside several of you. I remain incredibly proud of the work Jennifer and her staff have done throughout Berry County to support businesses, communities, and economic development. Many of you may also know that I ran for county commissioner in 2022. I knew that election was in trouble when one of my own neighbors came to me after signing my petition and said, "Brandon, you're our neighbor, and we like you, but we all know Bob Tunison, and he's a very good man." I thought to myself at that point, I think this campaign's in trouble. Bob, thank you for your friendship, your support. Sometimes in life, the best lessons come from good friends, good people, and they come the hard way. So thank you. I learned a great deal from that campaign. I learned more about this county, more about the people who call it home, and more about the kind of work it takes to earn trust. I also received some advice from another person who told me that if I ever ran again, to run a space-age campaign. I took that to heart. And this time, I'm confident that my team and I can run a campaign in a way that this district has never seen before, while still staying grounded in the principle, the people, the values, and the community that make Berry County and the 70th District a great place to live. I know that if elected, this position will take me to Lansing, but I want to be very clear. Berry County is home. This is where Samantha and I are raising our family, and where our children will always say they're from. This is the area I will represent, and you'll get regular state-level reports from me at your meetings. I look forward to working with this board, with local officials, and with communities from across the county, and do tremendous work for you and with you. Thank you very much, and I look forward to moving Berry County forward. So,
Thank you.
yes, thank you very much.
Additional public comment? Hearing none. Commissioner comments. Commissioner Bassett?
Yeah, we revitalized Delton is going strong. I want you to all know the first concert came and went, and we had about 370 people, we think, for the first event, which is twice as many as we had at last year's first event. Tremendous success, and so we're going to do those pretty much every other Thursday throughout the summer. And then also, I'm sitting down with some folks tomorrow. We are going to go for a Safe Routes to School grant for Delton Kellogg schools. They're the ones who are going to be the ones seeking the grant. We would like to have kids from Stepping Stones Development walk to school, and all we need to do is clean up sidewalks that are already there. So we're applying for that grant. And then last but certainly not least, we kicked off our Pocket Park Community Backyard effort. We're building a small pocket park and an area for families who come have a cup of coffee, a sandwich, go play some cornhole, sit by a fire pit, whatever. And so we're doing it. We applied for a crowdfunding grant from MEDC, Michigan Economic Development Corporation. And what happens is that we raise a certain amount and they will match that certain amount. So we set the goal of $24,750, and about a week and a half, 2 weeks in, we already have close to $9,000 in the kitty. So we're doing very well. There was a fundraiser this weekend at the local grind. So we're very excited to kick off this project in our downtown area to just, get things to light up. So there is a way to contribute if you feel so. You'll see it all over social media. I brought some flyers with me. But yeah, it's just a huge opportunity for us to be able to build this area with the help of MEDC. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Commissioner Call? All set. Commissioner Getty?
I'm also helping with the Safe Routes to School project. It's so important for our kids to be able to have safe, predictable ways to get to school. We've all heard about the bus driver shortage and how expensive it is for districts to bus kids. And I just think that if we can provide a safe route for them to walk less than a mile to the school, and parents have confidence that they'll safely get there, then that's a win-win for everybody, health-wise, economically, financially. It's great that Delton Kellogg Schools is stepping up to be the applicant.
Can we do it like my dad had to do, uphill both ways, 4 feet of snow? Is that safe for us?
So I hate to say it because it really ages me, but I also had to walk uphill both ways.
We're taking that benefit away from their health and benefit of the kids.
There's a little incline, just a little incline on Bush Street.
Yeah, perfect. Commissioner Smucker?
I have nothing, but I rode the bus both ways. I must be younger than you.
Well, you're from Freeport. A long
Commissioner
walk.
Hatfield?
The summer concert series has started in the city of Hastings, so multiple music events every week. Look it up online, but come and enjoy it. They've got a great schedule put together. And while you're here, you might also try stopping by. The city has approved the first food truck court. So there will be up to 10 food trucks in the Ace Hardware parking lot every other Friday for the duration of the summer.
Awesome. Good to know.
Not to mention all of our great restaurants in downtown, but variety is the spice of life.
There you go. Commissioner Campbell?
I just want to throw out that reminder that we're having a huge birthday party at the VFW on July 4th to celebrate 250 years of our great country. And also I'd like to note that most recently we signed a celebrity to handle our bicycle giveaway. Thank you for that, Commissioner Getty. And also I'm going to encourage Commissioner Smelker to please enter the pie contest this year, John. So it's at 12 to 6 on July 4th. Opening ceremonies at noon, and we hope you all can make time to attend. Thank you.
Commissioner Tunis?
Yeah, when Brandon ran against me in '22, I didn't know Brandon, he didn't know me. I think he found out, when I won the primary, he immediately called me up and said, hey, what can I do to help you or get behind me? I've spoken at the school time, I've gone down and visited him numerous times. I think over the years, we've really had a lot of great conversations. And one thing I do know is that if he, when he pulls this off, he'd be a great advocate for Berry County. And one thing he had told me from day one, that he wants to work with our board and everything else, and what do we need here, that he would advocate for us at the state level. So I just wanted to throw that out there that, pardon? Oh. Anyway, I just want to throw that out there that I appreciated him, so.
Awesome. Thank you. I don't have anything to add to that. We had a great meeting, good candidates, love seeing those people come forward and take on some of the responsibility for leading the county, so that is awesome. So, having